Let's hear it for your Sydney Swans. Cheers, cheers, the red and the white. Honour the name by day and by night.
Welcome back to A Bevy of Bloods, a fan podcast of the Sydney Swans Football Club.
So to all you loyal Swans out there, you just can't get enough of the red and the white.
Fluff up your tail feathers and settle in for a potentially biased yarn about all things to do with our beloved Bloods.
While our loyal Swans are marching onwards to victory.
G'day there, singers and swanlings. Welcome back to A Bevy of Bloods. You're joined as always by the crew from Sydney. We have podcast OGs, Noddy and Chris, along for the ride tonight, together with Superfan Sam.
That's right, you lovely loyal Swans fans. Today we're going to be talking about our win over the Roos and look ahead to the Sydney Stoush on Friday night. And remember, if you enjoy what you hear, give us a like and follow. Righto, let's kick things off with a quick game recap.
That's right, Saturday afternoon, 34,500 fans at the SCG. The Swans got it done over the Roos. I must say a lot of people predicted it to go the way it did. We won by 31 points, 12-12-84, 7 goals, 11-53. Kicked away a bit in the end. It was quite a close game most of the way, but sets us up for what will be a massive stoush this coming Friday in Sydney. Noddy, let's start with you, mate. Give us your 3 words for the game, please.
Heeney, Grundy, wow.
Yeah.
I think that sort of covers it. For most of the game, I was following whether or not Grundy was going to beat the most hit-outs in a game record. And then out of nowhere, Heeney just rewrites no one else has done what he did in that game. So it wasn't about beating a record. It was about setting, like he is clear out, was it plus 11 clearances and 5 goals. No one else has done it. And he had more than that. We're going to go through it later. But yeah, just unbelievable, those two guys. Like they were sensational. But lovely night. Stephen from the Rookie in Red and White came. Jen and a mate came. Lots of other mates came. It was a lovely warm day in Sydney. And as the sun set over the members stand, we had a beautiful sunlight evening there. It was just good. It was good to get the win. Yeah, it was good. It was good to we got another W. That's all that counts, right?
At this point, yes, it is. My 3 words actually were points over percentage to your statement there exactly, Noddy. I think we need the win more than we need the percentage. We're after a big boost to the numbers, weren't we? But we didn't get it at the end. We won by 30 odd, but not enough to really make a significant dent on those above us in the top 8. But look, percentage can be made up at a later stage, right? The wins, we can't get them back. So just pleased to get the win personally. Sammy, what were your thoughts, mate?
Well, my 3 words were the Magpies fucked us. Again, that's 4, but this one was worse. My thoughts on the game, I thought first quarter, we started hot again, but then fell off a little bit and then went into an arm wrestle at the end of the first, the second and the third. And then we turned it on in the last, kind of similar to last week, actually. We did enough to get the win, but, probably, again, just not good enough for where we need to be, getting percentage points. But you are right that winning the games is the most important thing.
Yeah, Sammy, on that point, there's a lot of chat about the season being done online. Still outside the 8. We're kind of 2 to 3 games behind, 5 left to go. Just talk us through the results for the weekend. I know you were following the other teams.
Yeah, look, obviously, Collingwood, being 20-something points up, I think 22 points up and losing was pretty devastating. And that's just, not good. I think Port Adelaide and Hawthorn was a bit of an arm wrestle, and Hawthorn ended up dominating them at the end. It's probably good that Adelaide, beat Gold Coast, and good that Brisbane beat the Dogs. So it could have been worse, I guess. But I think the one that really hurt was the Dockers and the Pies from where the Pies were to to not close that game out was really disappointing.
Yeah.
I saw some very keen conspiracists online saying that the Magpies are scared of us and they deliberately threw the game so the Swans wouldn't beat them in September or something. I was like, that's a stretch. But geez, it was bloody infuriating, wasn't it? God, you're thinking,
yeah, it's not over yet though. Things can surprise us in this league. So, but I mean, I agree. Statistically, the numbers are now stacking further and further against us. But all we can do, to quote the Messiah or Errol, is just to keep on winning and see where we
be perfect. So Sammy went through all the iterations last week, but it's still the same clubs that we kind of need to lose more than we win, right? We need to win more, and they need to lose, and then we need to pick up some percentage. And they are Sammy with Hawks, Giants, Freo, Suns with that extra game, and then the Dogs, right? They're the teams that we need to drop out so we can hop in. I guess you could include Cats in there on 12, but anyway.
They're not. I don't think they play another top 8 team. I think they
got the easiest run home, haven't they? Yeah.
Well,
so stranger things have happened. We say that. We're saying that a lot. Yeah.
That's right.
So
Let's just win our games. See where we end up. Chris, first time this year. Welcome back to the podcast, mate.
Hello. How are we all? It's good to hear all of your voices in somewhat live time. How are we?
Nice to hear you too, mate. See each other at the game, obviously, frequently, but nice to have you along the potty. What were your thoughts on the game, mate? You're always there. How do you reflect on the afternoon?
Yeah, it was a good weekend. I think Warzy and I were feeling the effects of a flu or something. I'm not quite entirely sure what that was all about, but the game was fun. Watching Brody go ballistic. What really annoyed me was the whole Amadi situation. I don't know if much of the people out there know, but Brody was on his way to hitting the it was an 80 hitouts mark, and then got pulled off, head over to the forwards, and so we were kind of counting down in the last quarter, like, all right, and I'm screaming out to everyone who's listening, 20 to go, and then out of nowhere they pull him, and so that excitement kind of died pretty quickly. But then thankfully Heeney came up, and as Noddy said, they just absolutely dominated and just gave us so much to go for as normal. So good to win a game where we should have won, and the strength that we won it. It very much feels like we're back as a result of all that, and key players still playing key things. I would love to see some more of the team kind of pick up, but no doubt we'll get stuck into that with the Bob medal and see how we all going there. But yeah, the stars keep on shining there.
Yeah, well said. And a topic which I know is going to stir a little vigor in you guys. The pitch seemed to have taken a step backwards to me. What do you reckon?
It does. It looks the same as Noddy. When would you see it? Round 4 or something insane way back then?
It was a while ago.
It
seemed. Yeah, I think you're right. Like it dropped back a week. Like last home game, it was pretty solid, but seems to have been a little bit slippery again.
Yeah,
we're back to where we are before.
Need to sort it out. We
need another Melbourne team to come up, another big Melbourne team to come up and play so that they can make a big deal out of it. But we're not going to see anything happen until then. So.
Yeah. Or we need another sultry voiced soprano to hold a concert at the other end and just even out both ends of the pitch.
Even it all out. It was Pavarotti these days anyway.
Could you imagine? I could see the SCG pulling that sort of chaos. The week off between the finals. It won't matter, I guess. See how we go.
Yeah.
Touch wood.
So, Noddy, what do you think of the game, mate? Where do we win the game? It was close enough, and the third quarter was pretty poor, but just ran over in the fourth. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of it, isn't it? Like, I think there's not much more to add there. Started well, tapered off. Second week in a row, we just kind of went flat, missing in the middle of the game, and then came back. And obviously, we've picked up another win, which we need to do. What's that in a row now, guys? That's 3, 4 in a row? What are we on?
It's 5 out of the last 6, and I think 3 in a row.
So if we'd won the
5
Dogs,
out of 6, 3 in a row. Yep.
Yeah, so we're certainly. You could say that we're hitting a patch of form. Some of those teams have been, going back to Richmond, right? Richmond, Port, those games leading up. So it's really pleasing to be hitting form and playing well, and we have been challenged. Like we got close to our best team back, and then Amadi and Papley drop back out, and obviously Tommy McCartan drops out. But we're finding ways, we're getting it done, and obviously, like we're having just superstar performances from our two key leaders this year who have been the most consistent, and that's obviously Grundy and Heeney. But yeah, it was fantastic to see. It really was. I mean, just Heeney's. I watched the mini again, and just the efforts. He was just everywhere, and his goals were not easy as well. They were highlights reels. But I know we're going to talk about him in a bit, so I won't talk about him too much before then. But yeah, look, I think I'm with everyone. It was kind of a bit of a bummer that we weren't able to sort of put the pedal down and maybe blow it out to 60 odd points. But to their credit, the Roos did play well. Like they had patches of really dangerous looking footy, and we all know that they're stacked with quality, and it's only they're going to turn a corner at some point. And they're just trying to get wins under their belt so they can launch into next year. But yeah, you can see that they're doing a lot of things right, but they still haven't clicked yet. But yeah, just frustrating for us that we couldn't get a bit more percentage.
Yeah. It gives us second best form in the competition, actually. Interestingly, there is one team with better form than us. Do you know who that is?
Giants.
Freo?
It's the Giants. That's right. Coming up next. In the Stoush.
The Sydney
Sammy,
Stoush.
Sydney Stoush. Stoush 30 or something we're on now, I think, but it'll be a good one.
Can you please say the Roman numerals, mate? Like, come on.
Yeah, do it properly. XXX. That's only going to make it. Yeah, that
Triple
makes it
X.
a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's a bit rude.
Sammy, I know you want to talk about our superstars. So I think we get into the Bob because there's so much to say about both of them. And no surprises, really, that Heeney and Grundy topped the Bob medal this week. Just a question of who came first and who came second. But let's spend some time on them because they really were the difference right across the park. So, Sammy, maybe we'll start off at 1 point. We left this one to you. There was a bit of discussion. Blakey's name came up, but where did you end up, mate?
We ended up going with Mills. And the reason for that is he had one less touch than Blakey, but he had more marks, more score involvements, had no turnovers, and 89% disposal efficiency. What I also found really impressive was from those 8 score involvements, he didn't have an inside 50 kick. So it just shows how well he's using the ball down back and setting play up for us. He's sort of become somewhat of a quarterback for us, which I think is, I thought he had an awesome game.
Yeah, good shout out, mate. Good shout out.
Yeah. Chris, you like him?
Sorry, who were we talking about? I tuned out hard then. No, you don't understand. I'm trying to buy tickets for Friday. With freaking talking to bloody Sammy on WhatsApp on the side here, and he's throwing spanners in the works. What's
Sammy,
the question?
you are a man of many talents if you gave that response whilst
Sammy's got a
Chris.
very agile mind.
I
compared to me.
am. Yeah, I'm also trying to book tickets, but I just know what I was going to say. So, yeah, we're just trying to get the 2-for-1 deal. So, yeah, no, but Millsy was very good. And then with 2 points, we've gone with Grundy. And I do think if he didn't get, I was going to say horsed, but I guess if he didn't get coxed in the last quarter,
Oh my god!
and moved up forward and off, he could have got to the hit out record. I reckon he still had like 7 hit outs in the first 5 minutes of that last quarter. So he was just so dominant, obviously up against Bryn Teakle, who actually didn't have a bad game, to be fair, but he just got dominated in the ruck. And Grundy was awesome. And then I guess they wanted to give him a rest because it was the time. But yeah, no, he had seven hit outs in the first probably 5 minutes of the last quarter. Grundy did. So he came second, and probably no surprises. Heeney with the 3 votes. He's the first player on record to go 5 disposals and 13 clearances, but he also had 34 touches at 85% disposal efficiency, 11 score involvements, 9 inside 50s. Just a all-round amazing game. Did it on the inside and the outside. I think he had 16 contested, 18 uncontested. Only had 3 turnovers. He was phenomenal. So yeah, there's not much more to say about that other than it was just purely amazing.
Yeah, he might be
He-
making a late push for the Brownlow. I mean, he's obviously got a lot of ground to make up, but geez, that's 3 points if you ever saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a new term that we're going to be using, being horsed, when
Horse.
someone's on their way to a record and it just gets pulled by the coach? Are we...
I mean, Heeney got horsed at the end, didn't he? You see how angry he was to be taken off?
He got coxed. That's what Sammy's saying. It's
yeah, right.
so
Very good.
we'll work on that term, and we'll come back to the listeners.
Yeah,
But let's go honourables, because we did have some other good performances. Sammy, it was Blakey was the one that you were considering for 1 point.
Yeah, Jules was big on Blakey getting in, and I thought it was sort of fair enough. But I feel like Blakey and Warner, who both had really good games in certain ways, there's just something about what they're doing at times where they just have moments where I feel like they're just a bit off. Like Warner sometimes was hospital handballing to people. The shots he was taking, he missed quite a few of them.
Yeah,
And
1-3.
Blakey sometimes just, I don't know, some of his disposals, which you'd think would be the easier kicks, he just kicks it straight to a North player.
Yeah, that one coming down the wing in front of us.
There's been
towards the end of the game.
There's been quite a few over the last, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks. Even though we've been in form, it just feels like he's a bit off. And so that's why, when I saw Mills's stat line, and also Mills did have a, visually good game, but I think the stats are probably what got it over the line, but also just those two who really were both in contention for the 1 vote. It just, like, some of the mistakes they're making. It's not that they're making mistakes. It's just that when they are, just, I don't know, they're not making them the right way. It sounds very stupid, but that's
I know what you're saying. Look, there's a lot of noise online about Chad being exactly where you're saying, Sammy. There's a lot of chat in the fan pages. Chad missing his targets, bad decisions, bad few weeks. And I mean, I have to agree. I think very good player, right? But he's capable of just mistakes, and probably too many for a player of his caliber.
Yeah, still had a 10 score involvements, which was one off Heeney, 6 inside 50s, and 26 touches with 4 scoring shots. So he still had a very good game, but it's just like, I just feel like there's a bit more potential there for both of them, given how good both of them were last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Noddy, anyone you want to pull out?
I just think I think Melly and Hammer did well down back. Rampy came back in, but it was pretty quiet. Obviously, T-Mac out is huge, so I think those guys stood up. I thought I just like Gus to Buller. I love that growing combo. I think he kicked 2-1 in the end. Well, I think we might hear for it in a second, but I think that our role players are playing roles, and it's nice to see, and I think those guys were part of that.
Yeah. I was going to talk about Buller. I really liked his start to the team. I know he played a game before this season, but I've really liked his little run of 3 games in a row, or whatever it was. And I think he's got beautiful kick. Like his 2 goals again, and the second goal in particular, he absolutely flushed it. Right, it was a cracker of a goal. But we did want to call him out for, doesn't come up often, but stinker of the week. There it is. Stinker of the week.
Stinker of the week.
Yeah, look, that shot for the 3rd goal, it was a bad miss, right? For starters, he was 20, 30 meters out, and he put it out at the full. But I was equally embarrassed because I'd just been talking him up to my wife, saying, I really like this kid. He's got a great deal of potential. Watch, he's going to get his 3rd goal, ready to go, ready to jump up, and he flushes it out into the crowd. So, and for that, I think he has to get stinker of the week.
For you losing a little bit of face to your wife, he gets stinker of the week.
Look, there are personal reasons, Noddy, but we can't. It was a terrible shot, right? It deserves being called out for how bad it was. When compared to that second goal. I mean, that second goal was 50
Beautiful, yeah.
meters. Yeah, umpire didn't even move, and he kicked one of them last week as well. So he's capable
Yeah,
of
yeah.
a beautiful goal.
He's
That's
definitely
why.
capable. If we're going to call out why moments, Hayward taking that intercept mark from McKershaw, his missed kick from the kick in, and then kicking across the face of goal to Warner, who luckily scored the goal, but I just didn't understand that. Was Hayward injured?
I don't think so. I think
No, I didn't think so either.
I thought it was really weird. I think Warner was in space, and I think he was about to move forward, but Hayward miskicked it.
Miskicked it.
I think it was still a really strange option because it wasn't much better a position for
I think it was
someone
a worse
who
position.
had kicked 0-3 or 0-2 to that point in the game. But I do like the unselfishness, but I really think he probably should have taken the responsibility, but it all worked out.
It was lucky, yeah.
But it was a miskick, to be fair.
There was another YOY moment, and this one won't be popular. What was Grundy doing? Bananaing it to the top of the square from the pocket. Remember that one? That was terrible.
That's probably more of a stinker of the week.
Ugh.
But yeah, there we go. There we go.
All right. We
But
agree.
he's a
We'll
glorious.
lay off Buller.
Yeah. We can give it to Grundy because he had such an amazing game elsewhere, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What about you, Chris? Anyone you like, mate?
I love Wixie. I love what he does. I love his hard running. I love just him shutting down Pids. I like everything about it. He's found a role there that's really nice. I think we were mentioning at the time that he always played that role of like hard defensive kind of forward in the past, and kind of got lit up by the fans on a regular basis when he didn't kick 3 goals in a week, and not understanding what his actual role was. And I think Noddy and I and a few others in the bevy used to on a regular basis kind of just remind the audience of the kind of role he needs to play in there in a very well functioning forward line at the time were coming first in league. So he was doing his bit, and now he's doing his bit in a different side of the ground in a totally different manner, but in his same hard running way, and he's really coming to his own. So I'm really, really happy that we've signed him on, and a local boy within Sydney. Just great to see. So yeah, happy with him.
Good manly boy.
Yeah.
I want to shout out to the rest of the defence as well, because obviously Wicks blanketed Paul Curtis, who before that game was averaging over 2 goals a game as a small forward.
Yeah.
But their genuine out-and-out forwards only kicked 3 goals, and that was Cooper Harvey with 2 and Jack Darling with 1. All their other goals came from mids or defenders, and don't get me wrong, they did have quite a few misses, but I thought the defence held up well again.
That's Larky, right? Like Larky's a gun player.
Larky wasn't in.
Oh, no wonder. I thought he was a bit quiet.
Yeah.
So the Cooper Harvey though, he's the father-son we were talking. So we had a couple of North fans sitting in front of us. And they were pretty good value. At one point, he pulled out a muumuu, an Udi. I was talking to Stephen. I was like, "Can you wear that at the footy?" He goes, "Mate, they're North fans. They can do whatever they want." Which is, I think, it's a sign of how bad they've had it for so long. But Cooper Harvey, yeah, he's sort of popped up out of nowhere. So, I mean, yes, he's a forward, but I wouldn't say, he's just starting his career, right?
I think it's a bit wild that he hasn't been in. To be fair, like he's been killing it in the VFL. And they're playing Jacob Constanti, who seems to be half serviceable, but Cooper Harvey's come in and I think he kicked 4 last week.
He has, he's got 6 goals in 2 games.
How many the week before? He's been really, really solid. So I find it really strange that that he's only getting a run now, given how poor North have been, as well as how well he's been doing in the VFL. So I'm actually really happy to see it. I always liked Boomer Harvey, so it's, good to see his son getting a chance and taking it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, look, returning to your point on Wicks there as well, Chris, you guys wouldn't have, I don't think would have seen this because it was on the TV and you guys were at the ground. But they were saying the job he did on Curtis should go down as his best performance ever as a Swan. They were saying to shut him down the way they did, it would be up there with his best performances. Yeah.
Didn't he shut down the at-ray in the earlier game against the Giants this year?
Toby Green, for those who can't speak pig Latin.
So stupid. This is what you had to come to, Sam, Stick to the rules. Some pig Latin. Okay.
Apparently, given we somehow love the Giants on this
Yeah.
podcast.
No, we don't. No, that is not okay.
Nobody
Well,
loves
that's
the
awkward.
Giants.
That's
Nobody
awkward.
loves the Giants. Well, except for the Giants fans. It's probably a good segue into the Giants. A lot of good performances there, and as you say, two real standouts in Grundy and Heeney. You rightly so take home first and second in the Bob medal. I mentioned the Giants are playing well. They've had 5 wins in the bounce. They've beaten some good teams in that run as well. Suns, Lions, Cats, Lions away in Brisbane as well. That's not an easy game. So, Noddy, I know you've done the numbers for the Giants. What are we looking at on Friday night, mate?
So yeah, mate, they're in 6th on 12 wins and 6 losses, 116%, pretty healthy. Those 6 losses have been Hawthorn, Adelaide, Bulldogs, us, Freo, and Port. And I won't go through the 12 wins. The wins of note though are against Collingwood, Geelong twice, Brisbane, and the Suns. So they've shown it against some top teams, but not other top teams. So, but they're Sammy, what is it? What's our form line against them? It's pretty decent.
So we've won the last 5, and we've won 8 of the last 11, with them winning 3 games by under a goal. So that was one of them was, I assume, the elimination final. The other one was that one where they came back from like 4 goals down and we were absolutely devastated. And that was early 2023. And the one by 2 points, I think it might have been. I can't remember when the 2-point one was. Anyone help?
It was around that time. It was sort of within a window. I just remember that last defensive misread between Florent and Dill Stevens. I think it was Kelly, wasn't it, on the left? Or maybe it was Toby
I feel
Green.
like it was when we were bad, and like we lost to them, and they had Jacob Hopper. And I think he had a really good game. I'm pretty sure it was like 2019 or 2020, but 2020 was in COVID, so I reckon it was 2019.
This is a new segment called The Vault.
Let's just say that we lost to them by 2 points sometime in the last decade.
Sammy,
No,
Harper, if you let Sammy work through his process, he will get you the stat.
He
will
will
get
it's
the
true.
key. He will
It
put
is
it
in
in the
there.
lock, and he will unlock the vault. And he'll be
He
like,
needs
"Here
to
it is,
shake it
guys."
off a dusty shelf in his mind.
Swans versus Giants, 2019. Let's
All
have a
right,
look here.
Sammy, while you're looking it up, Noddy, who worries you with the Giants team, mate? Toby,
everyone.
obviously.
Their forward
Cadman.
line is just
Cadman's kicking some
Cadman
good
is
goals, isn't he?
so good. Obviously, they managed Josh Kelly and Jesse Hogan last week, so you'd imagine they'd come back in, maybe for some of those junior players like Angwin or McMullen, or maybe even Riccardi if they're happy with the height. They're still missing Sam Taylor. I don't know. Injury lists will be announced tomorrow. We're recording on a Monday night, so they're pretty close to full strength, barring Sam Taylor, Josh Kelly, and Jesse Hogan, and it's a gun team. Like Callahan is killing it. Tom Green, I love. Darcy Jones, God, what a player. Oh, Brent Daniels is probably the only other one that is injured that hasn't been playing. But yeah, mate, they're very, very dangerous. And we probably once a month say to ourselves, why didn't we take a more of a serious look at Jake Stringer? Because he certainly probably would have helped. Certainly probably would have helped this year.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, guys, just a bit of an update. So it was 2019, round 20. Jacob Hopper had 26 touches, kicked 3 goals, and the At-Ray had 34 and kicked 1. So 3 on the money there.
The vault. Lock it in. So yeah, it's obviously very it's another must-win game. It's out at Homebush, the Olympic precinct, at NG Stadium. And I think how are we going on the live ticket acquisition? Are we any closer? Are we still confirming numbers?
No, we're still crunching numbers over here, Noddy. It's going to take a while. It might be an all-nighter.
Some very exciting admin for the podcast, but
I just hope we can get the 2-for-1 deal. That's it.
I just can't find. I can't find it going. Anyway, yeah, we'll figure it out. Let us keep crunching over here. Calculator's going crazy.
Will you?
How about you, Harper? You liking the Giants? Liking what they're doing?
So look, it's a pretty formidable record, and I do think they're in a good vein of form.
Mm.
I don't really put much in the kind of home ground advantage in these Sydney games.
Mm.
Actually, it's the first time I went to NG Stadium last year, and I feel like it's about the same dimensions as the SCG. And we gave him a really good hiding last year. So I mean, there was no crowd involvement at all. I mean, to be honest, it almost felt like a home Swans game because I think we had probably the bulk of the crowd, and then I think we kicked like 10 in a row. I remember through the second and third quarter. But look, it's a winnable game. Like I'll say that. I think it's a tough game, but I do think it's winnable. I think we'll need to be at or close to our best. And I think I hope the weather stays off so we can play some dry footy as opposed to wet footy. But yeah, look, I think it's gettable. I do think it's gettable. And look, we need to win, so got to go in that mindset, right? Haven't we?
Mm. How are we looking on the weather front there? While we're doing some boring admin tasks, I might just check the weather as well.
I think it's pretty
for the
dry
week
on the
ahead.
way in.
Dry.
Yeah.
Or a bit of rain on Saturday. 1 to 5 mil. Nah, nothing to speak of. But yeah, look, NG, I think the wings are a bit thinner there, mate. But otherwise, it's certainly got the SCG size to it. Like, it's not like you walk in and it's the MCG sort of thing, like it's a smaller ground, obviously a smaller capacity. But you're right, there's usually a healthy representation of Swans fans out there, and hopefully if we pull this ticket purchase off, we'll be part of the crew. But in terms of us though, right? We've had 3. What's that? 3 in a row, 5 from the last 6 or something. That can't be right. 4 in a row.
Yep.
We're in form.
3 in a row. 5 out of the last 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've had a few forced injuries. None from the Roos game, luckily. But what are we saying? Are we saying if Tom McCartan will have finished the minimum amount of days that he needs to sit out as part of the concussion protocols?
Yeah, if he passes the head test, he can play. Yeah, the AFL window that will have passed by the time we play on Friday night. Yeah.
I'm probably feeling a little bit pessimistic about that, just given his history. Sammy, I know that you were saying that he's critical to us in this game, or he's critical to us in every game. But I don't know, guys. I feel like his history is they're gonna sit him. I don't know. You guys think he's going to be back?
I don't know. I fully get and appreciate what you're saying though, and I don't mind it because he's in a in a compromised position. So if he's not right, then he's not right. But if he is right, then we do need him.
Yeah.
Because right now they've got like in their forward line, Cadman's in form, Callum Brown. They've got Stringer, Riccardi, Hogan. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know if all of these players are going to be in, but if they are, that's 5. They couldn't go with that many.
No.
But that's and then they've got the Rat, which Wixie will be on. But yeah, we're just in a spot of bother if he's not there, and then we're rocking with Francis down back. Even though I still think Francis might need to be down back, at least it might be a bit more solid with Tommy McCartan and the rest of the gang there.
Sammy, so Francis is an in for you, and if so, who are you putting him in for?
Well, I think it'd be Laddams and Bias out, and Francis and McCartan in.
And obviously, I think it was Hanley, was it kick 4 and Totally 3 in the VFL? Were they the stats that someone read out during the game? I've got a faint recollection over. I'm sure someone said that. But yeah, look, I think even with that form, I just think the way we're playing with the team that's going out there every week in the AFL, I think you probably just tinker with some of that structural stuff and keep the core the same. Yeah, but I don't know. It is a formidable task, I think, but one we're definitely we're embracing. I think it's it's that week by week proposition, and you can see it sort of around the club. And yeah, I don't know. It's I'm nervous though, guys. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Look, they've been a good team for several years, though, right? They, classic case of them getting all their first round draft picks, whatever it was now, a decade ago or something, right? And then the last kind of 5 years, they've been pretty good, right? And we've beaten them a lot recently, so we should take confidence in that. Yeah, I think it's a tough game, but we got to win, so got to give it what we can, I think.
That's it. I feel like we're all pretty nervous. I don't know, Sammy, how are you feeling about this one, mate?
Well, we can't get tickets right now, guys. We're freaking nervous as hell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's honestly one of the biggest stresses for me at the moment is trying to get these 2-for-1 tickets. But how am I feeling about this? Look, I would really, really hate it for us to mathematically be out against the Giants. I don't want them to end another season for us. It's been hard enough them winning 3 finals against us. So as much as this isn't a final, if we lose this, we're out. So, I am nervous about that. But I think that it's early in the week, and I generally stay pretty calm in the weeks. Funny enough. So let's see what the ins and outs are on Thursday, and that's probably where I'm gonna start feeling it.
Yep. We shall see. We shall see. Chris, maybe pass the admin over to Sammy for a minute, because there was an ulterior motive in getting you on tonight. You're excited about the AFLW season, mate?
Yeah, AFLW season is about to kick off. We're going to start 15th of August is the big date when the whole season kicks off. Now, actually, I think it's the 14th when the first girls play on the Friday, but the Swans are playing the 15th of August, which is most important, down at North Sydney. And it is notoriously a sellout on a regular basis. I dare say it's sold out the last few times. So if you are going to go to North Sydney on the day, I strongly recommend getting yourself a membership for $86 for the whole year. Gives you access to all of the games. But at the same time, if you're not going to join a membership, make sure you get your tickets, because the likelihood of you getting in without a membership, and if you decide to buy late, is going to be pretty low.
And what are you looking forward to with the season, mate? Tell us, big ins, big outs, teams to watch.
Yeah. So I think this season is going to be really, really exciting. So we've lost a fair few players over the off season. Zagetti, Steen, there's 2 pretty big ones there. Whelan, Paige Shepherd, and Vale. So 2 of those, of course, some of the inaugural players at the Swans. So it's a bit sad to see Zagetti, Steen go. But at the same time, we've got ourselves some pretty wicked players. So hear this. There's a couple that I want everyone to keep in mind. I'll run through a couple of names, but then there's a couple I'll talk about quickly. So Sarah Steele Park, ex-runner for the team, she's going to come in. Ex-Cats player Darcy Maloney, I think she's looking really good, averaging 30 disposals last year. From the Bombers, we've got Van Loon, which is a great name, good footy name too. Ash Van Loon, can't go wrong. Lulu Pula is one that I want to put on the radar for most. Ex-Soccer Brisbane Raw player. Played at the Lions, played at North, also was best new player in 2022 for the Lions. So she's come in with plenty of experience and competitiveness, from her time as a soccer player as well as anything else. Imogen Brown as well, but this is one that I want everyone at home to remember. The name is Zipperiah Fish, otherwise known as Zippy Fish. Yes, that's her name. She comes from 13 hours outside of Perth, in the middle of the Pilbara. I believe that's a place. I'm not from WA, so I don't understand what that means. Maybe our resident mining expert might be able to tell me. But
That's
13.
that's out there, mate. That's the Pilbara. That's northwest.
Northwest, is it?
I was
Northwest.
thinking, given the name, it might be an island off the coast.
No. Dean Cox is from Dampier, which is one of the big cities or towns of the Pilbara.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There you go. So Zippy Fish is we're going to take on our first round pick, pick 5 overall, and we've got really big ins for her. So we're really excited about seeing her play out. And the team on a whole is going to be pretty. I don't know. I'm pretty optimistic, mate. Like I think we're in a really good spot. I think we've got a lot of players that have been playing together for a while. We've found a few more defenders. I think what we kind of needed to loosen some of the girls like Ella Heads and stuff to kind of get up the ground a bit more. Lucy McAvoy, of course, co-captain, to get out there. And of course, last year we lost Chloe Malloy pretty damn early in the season, which basically put a massive dampener on the whole season. But hoping she stays healthy. A healthy Malloy on the field is worth 10 players. She is an absolute superstar. And then throw into the mix like Tarrant, who won AA last year, her first jersey last year in the fullback position, probably best in the game at reading the ball in the air. We've got, and Sophia Hurley, winning the Bob medal last year as well. Really young, hard talent. Every year that she plays, she gets significantly better. So heaps of good names in the team. A few really good names and really well-established names coming in to replace some of the ones going out. So yeah, quite excited about the season, to be honest with you. I think we're gonna have a good run at it, and hoping we see some finals action.
Yeah. And the season's been drawn favourably, right? A lot of games down at Henson Park, Saturday, Sunday afternoons, very family friendly. It's a great spot to watch a game.
Henson Park is probably the best place to watch an AFLW game. I mean, we're a little bit biased, granted, but in terms of the atmosphere, in terms of the way that the Swans do it, it's just the perfect place for AFLW. There's going to be, of the games, there's one game in North Sydney. The rest of them are in Henson Park, except for the last game of the season, which is a home game. For some reason, we're having that down at Coffs Harbour. So if the game does get the season does get to the final game of the season, and we're fighting for finals, and we're playing the Bombers, we're going to have to travel up to Coffs Harbour. So I'll get a big bus. I'll start working on my license tomorrow, and we can see if we can pull up a few fans to head up there. But it's it's a really good season. Henson Park is a great place to see it, so make sure you get your tickets.
Good on you, mate. 2-for-1 tickets up at Coffs Harbour. That's what I'm hearing.
No, well, 2-for-1 can't go wrong. It comes with a bus pass, so it'll be solid.
Awesome. Go the girls.
And you'll be doing the potty as well, Chris. Who's going to be on the potty with you this year?
Yep, rolling on the potty as well. So as all the listeners at home have probably not heard my voice all season, of course, Harps and Swam, Warsy, Noddy doing a great job here. I've actually had a baby, little Orly. I've been pretty busy and trying to adjust with life and try to work out what that all feels like. And it's been, an eye-opener. Quick heads up to Orly's number one fan and a massive Swans fan, Auntie Lisa. So say hello to her. For the potty, AFLW will be kicking off in a couple of weeks. Myself and of course Steve-O, the other OG, as Noddy and Steve-O kicked off the potty so many years ago. He joins me again for the AFLW. Jen and a host of others will probably jump on here and there. And a little bit of a teaser, we've got ourselves a couple of really exciting active players that are going to be joining us as well on the potty through the year. So make sure you wait out for us, listen out, and if you want to say anything or bring anything up, you know how to reach out to us. I've had a few fans actually reach out after they saw me unbelievably drunk at that game some weeks ago.
Which game was that, mate?
I can't remember.
It was Adelaide.
Adelaide, there you go.
Fair enough.
Could have been one of many, to be fair.
It was, a few fans and even a couple of family members reached out to see, is everything okay? I was like, yeah, it's fine. I just catching
that
through.
Was method acting, mate.
That was very good, I feel.
Yeah.
But no, I'm doing fine. I just having a kid and looking forward to AFLW.
Good on you, mate. It's going to be a great season.
Question.
I'm looking forward to it.
Why did Ella Head move on? Or Ella Head, sorry. She went to Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
As a Sydney.
Yeah, inner West girl.
Yeah. I think it's all about, I don't know, with her. I'm actually kind of excited to see where she ends up, to be honest with you, like how she goes, because she's got AA written on her. The rumor was she wanted to play up the ground a bit more. This was last year. And I think the plan was actually to get her up on the wing. That's what I heard. And that never really eventuated. She did roll up a little bit, but not enough, maybe to warrant it to her not to move up. So, yeah.
She's looking for midfield minutes.
Yeah, I think so. Like she really, really loves. Like she's all about like AFLW. She's putting a lot of effort into it. So yeah, good luck to her. But it's a bit sad to see her. She, like you said, local. She was doing the goods last year. And to lose her in the back line, it's pretty important. We need something like that.
Another thing, Chris, last point. Can you make sure you mention to the special guests that they'll have the number 1 season ticket holder for the AFLW if they bring Stella Reid in, my cousin?
Look, the Stella's been brought up a couple of times. I got to be honest with you, mate. She's not hot off the press. Like it's going to be cold at the moment. Not to say that she can't have a good crack. I don't know, but maybe this season is lost.
Well, she's killing it for North in the VFLW. So
yeah, no, I think the team is wrapped up, mate. So we're gonna have to.
There's
Mid-season.
potential for the injury replacement. So it's things can change very quickly.
Yeah, I don't want any of my girls getting injured, Sammy. But I see where you're heading with this. But it's yeah.
Drop the kernel.
Sammy's hoping for leg breaks here. No, mate. Like, no, it's yeah, no, the season's looking good. I'm actually quite excited about where the team is. And hey, the same, Scotty Gowan's coaching. For those who don't watch too much AFLW, I strongly recommend getting around to it. It's really, really fun. But at the same time, like Scotty Gowans is a bit of a super coach. Like what he's able to do, how he manages that team is pretty good. And as every year that he's kind of coached, you see the girls kind of sharpening up a certain aspect of the game, and even mid-season starting to do it. So where they end up for this year, at the end of last year, they were really focusing, and even in the mid-year contest, they were kind of doing at the beginning of the season. Sorry, at the beginning of this year, calendar year, they're doing a few games, and they were having a really good focus on a bit of polish and writing out a game. So. No, I think where we end up with this year might be really good. I'm quietly optimistic.
I mean, losing Malloy when we did is probably as impactful as when we lost Goulden in the men's. Like that's kind of the equivalent.
I'd say more. Yeah, I'd say it even more
for the impact she has on the team.
Yeah, I'd say a Heeney. You know what I mean? Like what she can do. She is the best player on the ground on any given week she plays. And not saying that that's not Goulden, but there's plenty. He's still got years ahead of him as well. But Malloy also comes with all that experience and captaincy, and it's wild. And just her personality generally, and what she can do with the girls there on the ground, off the ground. But yeah, if you are any listeners out there want to start getting themselves familiar with the game all over again, at the AFLW that is, you can go back and listen to some of our potties, and you can listen back to where we interviewed Privatelli, McAvoy, the co-captain, and Chloe Malloy, the co-captain as well from last year, and just start getting into the heads of the girls as well.
Very good. All kicks off in a couple of weeks. And
kicks off a couple of weeks. Wait up. Yep.
Exciting. We've got time for one more thing, if we may, gentlemen.
Have you got something planned? Oh, okay.
Merch watch.
Look out.
Did you guys notice anything different about the Swans home jersey this weekend?
Beyond blue.
No, close. It was the sponsor, Noddy, if that's what you're referring to.
Was it? Oh, okay. I thought it was the drawings in the rectangle.
Yeah, that was. I was looking at that because someone told me at the start of the season that QBE was the longest sponsorship in Australian sports history, which I thought that's interesting with the Swans. But it's the first time I've seen a sponsor drop their name in place of just a logo and their motto. But yeah, I was struck by the Swans. They obviously have an affiliation with the Heart Kids charities and some of the children's heart health organisations around Sydney. So yeah, the QBE logo was dropped in place of hearts drawn by children receiving care in the Sydney Children's Heart Health Hospital to raise money for what is a good cause and one close to the Swans. But I wondered if you boys noticed. I know you've got a keen eye for any kind of changes to the merch, Noddy. Usually straight down the Swans shop, pick one up.
I noticed the look of it, and I literally thought it was something to do with Beyond Blue. So thank you for doing the research and actually informing me and the listeners about what it was. But yeah, no, it was cool. I don't know. I wonder if we can if they're purchasable, because they were all different, weren't they? They were designed.
They were. They
had
were
different designs on everyone.
all
didn't
different logos. Yeah.
they? Yeah.
Yeah, I suspect they will be, right? I think that's the end game of the money. But it did actually lead me to an interesting question. Does anyone know the longest standing single sponsorship worldwide between a company and a sports team?
I'm going to go Volkswagen and Wolfsburg in Germany in the Bundesliga.
Excellent guess. Yeah, started in the 1930s. It is not the oldest, but it has been around for a long time. Any other guesses?
Before 1930.
Melbourne Demons and Mount Buller. Sorry.
Don't know how long
I
that's
think
been
Mount
together.
Buller's been around for that long. The country's pretty young.
It's a new mountain.
The mountain? Yeah, or the...
Is it hang on? Is it Australian or is it international?
Well, this is a question about worldwide sports, but I will give you a clue, and it is actually an Australian sponsor.
Oh, wow.
An Australian.
I was about to whip out some strange Brazilian ball knowledge there, so I'll leave that out.
Okay.
I'll put you out of your misery. You're not going to like it. It's
Toyota
Ford.
in the AFL?
Ford and the Geelong Cats. 100 years. Yeah,
right.
100 years this year.
Yeah, I don't like it. You're right about that. Like a nail on the head right there.
Pew, 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 pew. Crap
Who cares?
Jeez, Wolfsburg and Volkswagen off the bat was pretty good, though.
Hey, Sammy,
close.
what you said was
Very
great,
yeah.
according to you.
Mate,
Yeah, 100%. I'll take that.
Hey, just on the purchasing ticket. Sorry, have we got another comment on that one?
Yeah, we've got updates. I'm still struggling, whereas Sammy seems to have gotten a bit further. So
I just can't work out how to get the 2-for-1 thing.
So I had a quick look I went through the Giants Facebook page searching, and I've come across an interesting comment from, I'm assuming, a Giants fan. I'm not going to name names, but I think it's worth reading out to just get a little bit of fire in our bellies. So here we go. This is the first comment in this thread. All eyes on Sydney Derby 31, apparently, XXX1. It should be a great match between the Greater Western Sydney Giants and the Cecils, Emeralds, Albert Park, Bloodstained Angels, South Melbourne, Sydney Swans football clubs. I wonder why they call matches between Western Sydney and South Melbourne, Sydney Swans the Battle of the Bridge. We don't. When it's really an interstate match between the Sydney-born Giants and the Melbourne-born Swans. I cannot wait to hear the crowd chant, Sydney, Sydney. Some people might think the Swans have an identity problem, in my opinion.
That's
a rocket up the boys.
That Facebook user is trolling us, Noddy.
Well, he's on their page, to be fair. But I'll tell you what, he's gotten through. Because I went out of my way to go on their page. Come on, boys, we got to do it. Let's smash them. Come on.
We do.
Come on.
We do.
In the
We do.
Stoush.
We
The
do.
Sydney Stoush.
We don't do predictions on this podcast, but yeah.
And we don't call it
to get
Battle
over
of the
this one.
Bridge because that's
I will just leave you.
geographically
I was looking
stupid.
at the odds as well. I'll just leave you with the odds. Giants paying $1.60, Swans paying $2.40. So not much between them, to be fair. Not much between. But we shall see. That brings us to the end of what was a varied and at times a little scattered podcast. But if you made it through this far, thank you for listening to the end. We must have done something right along the way there. So give us a like and a follow.
Whether in person or on the potty, we look forward to whenever you can join us next time. But until then, up the Bloods. And can you Swannies? Come on, keep it going. Give me the dub. Give me the dub. Let's go. Come on.
Get on the Giants, boys. Come on.
Beat the Canberra Giants.
This podcast is an independent fan-run production and is in no way affiliated with the Sydney Swans Football Club, its players, or the AFL. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of the Sydney Swans or any official organisation. All commentary is intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only.